So first and foremost, my name is Sean Kozak. I'm the CEO of Tickblaze in the NeuroStreet ecosystem, and this is a Tickblaze Marketplace webinar. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. You're in the right place. For those of you that have been here before, welcome back. This is going to be an event to remember. Today we are launching what I'd like to coin the best trading system that I've ever seen in 15 years. It's simple, it's profitable, and with an algo, you can see that. You can see that. You can see the data. You can't challenge the data. Data never lies. Data is data. 1 is 2, right? We're going to get into that today. We're going to talk about why this is probably one of those events you're going to want to remember forever. And we're going to talk about why, right? It's not some hocus pocus fluff. I'm not just sitting on the mic telling you how great things are. I'm going to show you. And then you can be the one to make that decision on your own. Right now, we are talking about fully automated algos, and we have probably one of the largest opening range trading communities in the business, right? There are some other big groups out there, some big affiliates that actually do trade opening range breakouts. But the way that we do the one and done and the way that we trade opening range is very different than other people. And the reason for that is we have data. We have data to back that decision. We have data to tell us which markets to trade that on. We have data to tell us which time frames to trade them on. We have data that tells us where to put our stop loss and where to put our entries. And all of that goes into automation when it becomes an algo. Now, let me give you a little bit of backstory. Okay, we're going to talk about trading today. We're going to talk about automated systems. We're going to go into all the details. But this algo is not like every other strategy. Why? Because we've been trading the one and done for over a year now since we deployed it in a manual strategy. And how many of you guys are trading the one and done manually back in the ARC days, back when we were doing it on Ninja and we had it as a manual strategy and all that? There's a few of you guys probably still in here. And then we brought it over into the Tickblaze marketplace and we call it the one and done forecaster. How many of you guys are in the Jeffries trading room trading the one and done forecaster right now, live every morning in the trading rooms, right? I mean, let me explain something. How many of you guys are trading the one and done or at least watching it, right, etc., right? Manually, trading it manually, right? Yes. How many of you guys are familiar with that? Yes? Great. Well, we've automated it, right? We've automated it. We've built it into Tickblaze for an automated system. And we're going to talk about how to use the core engine that we've built to make this exceptionally profitable. Okay. And we're going to talk about the data and we're going to talk about it on different markets. Okay. Now, because we're talking about an algo and we're going into data, I do need to cover a disclaimer. Okay. This is equally important for events like this because we're looking at performance reports and I can't guarantee you anything. Okay. So I can't promise you anything. I can tell you how to do the software. I can show you what we've been able to do with it. But if you are trading and if you are placing trades, it's at your own risk, and past performance never guarantees future results. Can everybody type Y in the chat box that you agree that I'm not your advisor, your CTA? I'm not here to tell you what to do. This is not advice. Okay. Now, let's just go into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the last 7 weeks on the NASDAQ. 2 losing days. How many of you guys would like to trade that strategy? Yes or no? I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know what you're trading. I don't know which indicators on your charts. I don't know which, whatever, right? All I know is that that is the performance report for the NASDAQ, right? Over the last 7 weeks. Okay. Now we've got data going back longer. We got data on the gold markets. We got data on the Russell. We got data on the NASDAQ. We got data on 1-minute charts, on 5-minute charts. We have it all, right? Why? Because it matters. Now, a couple things. The reason we call this the one and done, it's about lifestyle. It really is about lifestyle. So we're going to call this lifestyle. Okay, right here. And it's also about prop firms. I'll explain why. Because I would probably say that 95% of retail traders prefer to trade for prop firms than their own money. Exactly. And the reason for that is like, why wouldn't you? Like, you can leverage way more exposure on a prop firm than you could on your own capital, right? So, but just because you're trading for a prop firm doesn't make your life any easier. Just gives you an opportunity. Trading doesn't change because you want to work for a prop firm or you want to work for yourself. You still need a strategy, and you still need something that gives you enough to want to trade it. Now, let me explain something, okay? If there was trader 1 and trader 2, okay? And trader 1 could look back 7 weeks and see that that was the performance for the last 7 weeks on the strategy. Trader 2 doesn't have any data. They're just trading whatever strategy. Which trader do you think has more confidence in trading? Trader 1 with 7 weeks of data, or trader 2 with a wish and a star in the sky? Who do you want to be? Trader 1 or trader 2? Trader 1 has data that their strategy has a hell of a lot of performance in the past. You have trade history, you have performance history, you have daytime, everything. Or trader 2 that's just hoping that today's going to be like yesterday and maybe we'll get a trend, maybe we'll get a range, whatever. Who in here would agree that data would make you a more confident trader? If I sat you down and I said, hey, this is the strategy that I'm going to trade today. It's got 7 weeks of extremely profitable results. What are you trading? And you say, well, I don't have any data. I'm not asking this because I'm trying to sound stupid on the mic. I'm actually being quite serious. You guys get up every morning, you turn on your screens, and you assume that tomorrow is going to be the same as it was today. It's not. It will never be the same. You know what is the same, though? Every single day, the market opens. Market open. And you know what happens at market open? Time equals static variable. Time never changes. 9:30 is always 9:30 every day, regardless of what happened a year ago or what happens next year. 9:30 is always going to be 9:30. But what will not be the same for you is a trend, a range, maybe some divergence. All that shit changes every day. But what never changes is the market open. And if you know why that's so powerful and you understand, if you want to get up every single day and in 15 minutes be done trading, this strategy will do that for you. Now, you don't have to just stop with one trade. We've built a rotation that allows you to trade gold in the morning. You could trade crude oil. You could trade the NASDAQ or the S&P, or you could trade the Russell. Okay. Now, why is that important? It's because every single one of these markets has a different market open. So if you're somebody that likes, I want to trade 3-4 trades a day, great. You have a market open trade on gold, a market open trade on crude, a market open trade on the NASDAQ, and you're done. 3 trades in a row, boom, boom, boom. You're done by 9:45. We call this the one and done because this strategy gives your life back. You can't tell me that you have a strategy right now. Like, there's nobody in here that can tell me with 100 degrees certainty of accuracy that you know exactly every single day which time your strategy is going to provide a signal. If you're trading order flow, good luck. You don't have an accuracy. You cannot tell me when you're going to get your signal in order. If you have a trend pullback, how do you know when the market's going to trend? If you're using an oscillator, who knows when it's going to be overbought or oversold? But if you sit me down and I show you at the one and done, every single day I know exactly when that trade is happening. Exactly. Every single, never changes. I can run a business around that. I can run my life around that. You don't have to worry about kids or your wife or going shopping because every single day at 10 o'clock, you can shut down your computers and you can have your entire life back running a prop business from 8:20 in the morning to 9:45. And that is it. Bob's your uncle. You're done for the day. And be more profitable than a whole lot of other traders who don't have a system that is mechanical like that. How many of you guys would agree that that is pretty powerful? Like, If you're going to run a restaurant, it's a system. You buy a McDonald's, you don't change the menu, you don't change the operational flow. You buy a business in a box because it's profitable, right? That's the whole point of this system. And this is exactly what everybody needs. It's not about wanting. Everybody in here needs this. You may question if you want it, but I can promise you if we go back and look at your stats and we compare them what this does versus what you're doing, I'm not trying to be abrasive here. I'm being honest. 99% of most traders struggle to maintain profitability over a consistent period of time. That's because every day they're changing trades, they're changing time frames, they're changing strategies, they're changing everything. This doesn't ever change. The only thing that would change is the market you traded on, because the market open is going to happen whether you'd want to do it or not. How many of you guys would agree that makes sense? Yes or no? I'm pretty bold with the open of this event because I have data that backs that decision. Now, I'm going to show you a little something. This is Jeffrey. I'm going to put you on the spot, Jeff. Since we started trading this manually in the trading rooms, we've taken 356 trades manually, more trades than any other. You can't use other because this is over like years before you even worked here. Every other strategy that's being traded manually in the trading rooms, this is hands down the most active strategy. Happens every single day. And he's trading it with an 85% hit rate. Every day. Every day you have a trade on this, eh, Jeff?
At least 3 every day.
Exactly. Okay. So does anybody in here have 356 trades logged? That's 356 trades off the market open manually. This is not an algo. This is a manual performance every single day. Let's go down to the bottom here. Look at all the one and done, like just one and done, 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 one and done. Every single day, red is one and done. Just doesn't change, right? And he just got tired of writing one and done. Don't need to. Every day is one and done. Or here it is. Boom, one and done. You can just see one and done, one and done, one and done. Today, one and done was 2 strategies, both profitable. 3 of them, actually. 1, 2, 3, 3. MES, MGC, MNQ. This is a manual strategy, okay? We're going to automate this. This is what we did. Now, the one and done is very simple, okay? It's not going to create headache for you. It's not going to create noise. You're not going to have a whole lot of indicators on your chart. You're not going to have a whole bunch of stuff that's taking your mental capacity, right? I promise you, you're going to load one desktop, you're going to have your market set up, and you're just going to press play. And all you got to do is set the settings up. And then every day you just press play and let the market trade off the open and it stops. There's only one trade every day on every market. That's it. There's only one trade every single day on every market. How many of you guys think you could run a very, very solid business taking 3 trades every single morning? Every single morning, 3 trades. Yes? Give me a yes or no. If is 3 enough for you? If you say, well, that's not enough trades. Well, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. You could put size behind them and does the exact same thing as somebody else trading 10 trades that doesn't do anything. 3 trades every morning and go for breakfast, take your wife for coffee, go do something, go to the beach, go do something at 10 in the morning. Do you think a prop firm would really want you trading for them if every day they seen that you were trading 3 trades every day and then eventually they seen you pass your evals and then pass your payout accounts and then they sit you down in an interview and they say, well, what are you trading? You say, I'm trading the market open. Okay. And your stats prove that you're solid and they just scale you and they move you up the ladder. Next thing you know, you're really, really trading size on a strategy that can warrant size. Let me explain this for a second. Everybody's dream in here, and I'm the dream weaver. I know your dreams. Everybody's dream in here is to scale large size. Why? Why is that? Give me a yes. Why would everybody in here want to be able to scale large size? If you knew you were consistently profitable and you had the stats, why would you want to scale large size? Less trading, George says. Yeah. What else? Make more money. It's a no-brainer. Like once you get good, then you get fast, then you get big. More leverage. What's the problem though? A lot of traders aren't trading strategies that you can put big size behind. You can't get filled. Can't get filled in the real markets. In sim, yeah, get out of the sim game. You move into the real world and you start trading real capital. If you're trading on bar for time frames or bar types that don't allow you to put size behind because you can't get filled, this strategy will allow you to trade size without having problems. You're not trading on very, very small time frames. 1 minute all the way up to a 5-minute chart. You have enough time to execute trades at size. It also allows the prop firm to work with you on leverage if you're trading in a live brokerage account. So this is really, really good for traders in evaluations, really good in payout accounts, really good for live traders too. So that is something that a lot of traders don't think about because they're so used to just looking at what chart they're at. But what if you actually got really good at this? And what if you had the stats that were like, holy shit, like this is actually impressing me? I need you to guys write this down. There are strategies out there that can change your life. Truthfully. A lot of people don't believe it because they've been bitten by the failure bug. There are certain things that work and they don't need to be complicated. This is that. Okay. Now what you're seeing here is a box with some dotted lines. You break outside those dotted lines, you take a trade. But the question should be, which time frames should we be trading that on? The question should be, how far outside the box should I be taking my entry? The second question should be, where should my stop loss be placed? You do not have that data unless you have an automated system. Why? Because you can't go back and test it days, weeks, months behind in advance. You can't get the information. Those are the questions you should be asking, not what's just the signal. We're going to be trading opening range breakouts, but what we're able to do is tell you which markets are best on which time frames. We're able to tell you which markets are best on each offsets, where the stop loss should be, where the target should be. Those are the answers to everybody's more important pressing questions. You can't do that unless you have an algo. That's what algos are designed to do. Backtest, optimize, give you the best performance. Okay. Now, the reason we automate is about data. Everything else is just a given. Humans are slow. Computers execute fast. Humans have emotions. Computers do what they're told. Humans don't have the ability to provide lots of data to give them confidence. Computers can tell you what to do. They execute, they give you the data, you make data-backed decisions. There's no question about it. Automation can change your business. But you need to be able to understand that automation is about building a strategy, testing that strategy, and making sure that strategy can continuously trade in real time moving forward. The key is not having data is going to give you no reason to trade it forward. Why would anybody want to trade a strategy moving forward if they have no historical information to tell them that it actually makes sense to trade that? Like if you came to me and say, hey, Sean, I've been trading 10 years. I'm like, oh yeah, give me your stats. Well, I don't really have my stats. Well, you don't have anything, right? Stats are everything. Data is the answer. So most traders, maybe 5% of manual traders will have a trading log, a trading plan, and stats. Algos give you everything with a click of a button, and we're going to show you that today. Now, the one and done is about fractal breakouts. So let me just grab a cursor here. We're going to get into the examples. The one and done is about fractal breakouts. Now, fractal breakouts, what's cool about this is that we can do them off any time we set the breakout to happen. So what you may not know is that the one and done is not just a market open system. We just traded on the market open. You could use the one and done as a news breakout system. You could use the one and done as a market close breakout system. You could use the one and done to have multiple breakouts every single time during the day. So if you knew that gold opens at 820, but you also want to trade the breakout on gold at 930, you technically have two trades on gold. If you want to trade the 9 o'clock pit open on crude oil, and then you also want to trade the inventory breakout, you could run this as two separate setups. So that's why it's not called the orb trading strategy. This is called the one and done because it's a one and done algo. It breaks out, takes a trade, and you're done. Now, you really need to understand this. This is the most important part. Offsets are everything because you can have an opening range like this. Price is trading into it, comes out, wicks through, comes back in, stops you out. Happens a lot. The market open will always fake out traders off the open. So what we do is we test, do we enter here? Do we enter here? Do we enter here? Why? Well, the data will go back and tell you. The offset is everything. Where do we place the stop loss? Well, when I started trading this strategy a long time ago, I just put my stop loss at the other side of the range because, hell, I don't want to get chopped downside. We have data that shows where to place the stop inside the range statistically so that you don't have to go for such a big move off the opening range and you still get 1-to-1 ratios on your trades. If you're trading an opening range like this and you go for a 1-to-1, you got to go all the way up here. But if we have data to say enter here, take the long, put your stop loss here, 1-to-1 is here, you have a higher probability of taking your entry, taking your profit, and being done. You would never know where to place the stop loss or the targets unless you had offset logic and stop logic built into the algo, which we do. We also have the ability to manage your position sizing, multiple entries depending on the setups. And then everything else is just part of running automated systems. We have equity curves and graphs that show you your profits. We're going to talk about backtesting and optimization reports in the demo today, and then we're going to go into the AMA tomorrow. It's all about multiple time frames and instruments for this strategy because you're going to want to trade a couple setups. Normally, you're going to want to trade an energy or a gold market, right, in the pre-market. And then basically you're going to want to trade an index market, right? You're going to do this. You can have an index market. You can do this or the NASDAQ or the NQ. Like, why? Well, they're non-correlated markets, which means you're not taking correlated risk. They're executing at different times of the day, which means you're not exposed to multiple upside or downside simultaneously. It allows you to mentally manage the trade properly. And they're independent asset classes, which means they're in completely different sectors of the market. And that's why what we did was we independently tested these markets by themselves and found the best settings independently. But then what you can do is you can turn them on as a portfolio using Tickblaze, because Tickblaze is badass. You could turn it on and you can put it as a portfolio and you can just press play and then it just takes the trades on all three markets and you just don't have to do anything, because that's what portfolio strategies do with Tickblaze. Can't do that on Ninja, can't do that on all these other platforms. So we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about this, but does everybody understand that? Give me a yes if that makes sense to you. Here's a great example, right? You can choose to take one entry off the breakout or two entries off the breakout. Okay, we can choose that. Sometimes you get an opening range like this, and the market just breaks out and it just goes to the moon, and you don't get a second entry. Sometimes in certain market conditions, the market will break out, give you the short, trade back inside, test the opposing side of the range. There will be days, and this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow in the AMA, is comparing the data. Very, very powerful discussion. One trade versus two trades. Because here's what you can do. You can take your market, run a back test or run an optimization, just testing the one setup for the day, and then compare it to see if you should be taking both trades. Doesn't always have to be both trades, but there are two trades per market per range every single breakout, right? And so you don't necessarily know that data until you have that data. And we're going to go over that when we do the testing, and we're going to talk about that. Does that make sense? You might see that the NASDAQ, it's only good to trade one breakout. But you might see on gold that, wow, it's really profitable taking the entries on both sides of the range. This is the whole point of an algo. And you don't have to guess because we have the data for it. Okay. Now, what we do with these algos is that we have a profit box down here that'll show you the profit as you make money. It just keeps going up. You can always track your P&L. You can choose to have your signals on the chart. You can change the graphics of the box, right? But it's really clean. Like, it's just super, super, super easy to trade. This is super clean. Okay. Here's another example. Quick scalps, breakout to the upside, breakout to the downside. You see that? Opening range, gold trade on a 1-minute chart. Boom, boom. Technically, this is a 5-minute breakout. You go 1, 2, maybe not. Maybe it's a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 7-minute breakout. So Jeff tested a 7-minute fractal. 7-minute breakout. Take the trade, boom. Target, take the trade, boom. Target. Now, we're going to go into this in more detail. We're just going to keep looking at some trades. Okay, here's another example. Just one breakout, bing, bang, boom, on gold. Drop it like it's hot. Explosion. Now, you're going to see we didn't take the breakout right on the range breakout. You would have got low ticked, traded back into the range, right? We took it here, which means there was an offset. We chose to wait maybe 10 ticks before taking that trade. This way you don't get faked out. You don't get sucked in as it low ticks or at high ticks and brings you back into the range. Oil is notorious for that. Oil is a very, very tough market sometimes unless you have the right settings. Now here's another example. Bing, bang, boom, S&P rips it off the open, straight up, no second trade. Look where the stop loss is placed. Not below the opening range, inside the range. Now, what I do when I run my tests, we're going to talk about this, is let's say this is your opening range. You have your midpoint, you have your 25% quartile, you have your 75% quartile, right? So what I do when I optimize, I test the entry off the breakouts, and then I test stop loss sizes at 3 locations and then the opposing side. So what I'll do is I'll run my algo testing and I'll enter the trade and I'll test where should I enter the trade on the offset. And is it right at the opening range? Is it right above it? 10 ticks, 20 ticks, whatever, depending on the market. And then I'll run it on 4 different stop losses. I'll test 4 stop sizes. So that way you can actually see where we should be placing the stop statistically. Not because it shows a box, not because I think it should go there. Based off of the last 3 months of opening range breakout trades, I didn't need to have my stop loss down here. I could have had it here, or I could have had it here. How many of you guys would think that that data is valuable? How many of you guys would think that if I told you you don't need to have a 20-point stop, you only need to have a 10-point stop, that would make you feel a lot better? Like if the data said, don't take so much risk, you don't have to. Give me a yes or no. Does that make sense to you? Exactly. The data will help you be more confident in the decisions. It also allows you to have a tighter target, which means you don't have to wait for such a big move to catch a bigger R multiple. Okay. Here's a great example of multiple fractals throughout the day. Okay. What does this mean? Well, maybe this was the market open, which it was, because this is Jeff at 6:30, which is my 9:30. Well, then what's this? Well, that's clearly 10 o'clock news. So this is the market open. Maybe that's the CPI report. We don't know, but I'm just using this as an example. You get volatility push off the open. You get volatility push off the news. And look at where the stop loss is. The stop loss is inside the range. Yeah, the box draws everything. The software draws the box. The software places the entry. The software places the stop and the target. All you got to do is set it up, load the template, press play. Now, I'm not going to let you do that until you come to the AMA in the morning because I want to teach you how to turn it on. Like it's like when you buy a car, you don't just buy it and start driving it. You need to know how to turn on the air conditioning and roll down the window and turn on the music, right? And enjoy the ride. For me, as an educator who builds systems, I like to make sure that everybody knows how to turn on the car, roll down the window, make sure you know what to do with it, right? So we're going to do training on it. We're going to teach you how to set up the settings, and we're going to teach you how to do that. That'll be tomorrow morning in the AMA, okay? Now, the data that we have, if I'm not mistaken, I'll ask Jeff here in a minute, but it's all off the opening range. We didn't test news. We didn't test multiple time frame fractals in terms of like, we didn't test like trading at different times of the day because we were mainly focused on what's systematically the most powerful, which is market open, because that always stays at the same time every single day, right? But once we show you how to use the software, you'll be able to do that. Okay. So if you know every day you want to, like if you know you want to test news announcements, well, news announcements happen at different times. So it's kind of a little bit harder to test that, right? But market open, you don't have any problem. You just test it. Yeah. Makes sense, traders? Here's another example. Okay. Here's another example of taking a fractal. This is really cool. Okay. So what this, you see this dark box inside of here? That's your first 5-minute breakout. And this is your 15-minute breakout. So we have a 5-minute opening range inside the 15-minute opening range. So what we do is we set 2 fractals up. You can take the 5-minute trade, boom, boom. And then look, it took the 15-minute short. You can set that up. If you want to take the orb trade off of 5-minute, then the orb trade off of 15-minute, technically they're 2 separate trades on the same market, are they not? That's exactly what this is showing you how to do. You can literally trade a scalp breakout and then a day trading breakout right here. That's exactly what this software is showing you right here. Does that make sense? You might want to trade the 5-minute and then going inside the 30-minute. Who knows? leave it to the data. I would always test the 30-minute independently. So I would run the strategy, do my back testing optimization on the 5-minute, look at my stats. Okay, they're great. Then I would run it on a 30 or a 15, whatever your second fractal is. Once you have that data, that's when you can use them together and you can trade multiple setups simultaneously. Now that's more advanced. We'll coin this as more advanced. You don't need to do that. You absolutely don't need to do that. You can do this on just one trade a day off the 1-minute chart or the 5-minute charts. Very super, super simple. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here's another example, multiple trades off that breakout, long trade, then short trade. Okay. And this one had the stop loss right at the opposing side of the range. You see that? You can see the stop dots, the entries here, stops are here, entries here, stops are here. Just depends. This is on the NASDAQ, different market, different setup. Okay. Now, I see a bunch of questions, guys. I'll get to them in a bit here. I just want to go through some examples and show some cool stuff. So here's a great example of a fairly large range on the RTY, right? Fairly large range on the RTY, and then it pushed out, broke out to the upside. Okay. And you can see the graph down here. This is where the P&L, the closed P&L and open P&L, you'll be able to see that intra-trade as well as at the end of every trade. Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this. So everybody gets excited about the trading signal. Okay. Everybody's like, wow, that's a cool signal, right? Everybody says, show me where to buy, show me where to sell, show me the right indicator combination. Just tell me exactly how these things need to line up so the stars align and everything is hunky-dory, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that is a fallacy, that is a loser's battle, and I'm going to explain why. Okay. When you are building strategies, whether it's a discretionary trading system or an automated trading system, okay, the strategy is what we call the entry signal, okay, the entry signal, which makes up for about 20 to 25% of every system, the rules to get into a trade. But everybody else forgets about the other 75% because they don't have the tools to do the job. They don't. You don't have the tools to do the job. How do I know that? Because I've been in this business for a very long time. I know every platform that exists in the world. Trust me, I do. And I'm telling you that every single platform is not designed to do what I'm about to share with you. We built what we call an algo engine. The algo engine is designed for us to take the 25% strategy and plug it in to this. What is it designed to do? It's designed to make a strategy that's going like this, go like this. We want to find the best alpha. We want to find the best performance. Every single person in this industry who touches the mouse as a trader, the only thing that is underlying us as our skin and as a human body is the divine desire to want to have better performance with every strategy we trade. That is a given. Whether you're an institutional firm, whether you're a retail trader, you must understand that everybody's goal is to figure out how to make their strategy more profitable while managing the risk and limiting the drawdown. Does everybody agree with that? Yes or no? Like, I already know the answer, but like, I'm seeing if everybody's awake here. Like, who doesn't want their strategy to be more profitable and less risky? It's a common sense question, but it seems to me that everybody doesn't understand that. How many of you guys would want me to say, listen, I have a piece of tool here that I can take your strategy and make it more profitable? Yes? So the way we do that is we take the strategy and we run it against entry testing, stop loss testing, target testing, time of day testing. Okay. Then we can add money management. We can add trend filters. We can add market structure and momentum filters. Okay. Everything stacks on top of it. Okay. And so instead of worrying about the perfect signal, because I would tell you that almost every strategy, every indicator combination can find performance and be very profitable with the right combinations of information. So in this situation, we're going to test the strategy against the entries, against the stops, against the targets, against the time of day, against money management, against the trend filters, etc. And the way that this works is that we've built a custom tool. This is what it looks like inside the algo. This is our proprietary software. This doesn't exist on any other platform in the world. Like this, we spent years building this, years, not days, not weeks, not months, years. And the reason we did this is so that every single algo that is built inside of Tickblaze can plug into this core engine, and we can ultimately find better alpha. Why? Because anybody trading any strategy without the ability to test it properly is absolutely going to lose all their money. Period. As much as you may not think that, it will happen. If you don't have the data to back up your edge and properly test the different variables around what time of day you should be trading your strategy, what's the right entry criteria, what's the right stop loss criteria, what's the right everything else that nobody's thinking about, you're just trading a ticking time bomb. I have the data for this. I know this. I've been in this business long enough to see it at a macro scale. Okay. So the goal here is to provide you with the tools and the strategy. We're going to show you how to take the strategy, which is the one and done. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to show you how we found the best performance. I'm going to show you how we test the best performance. Okay. I'm going to show you how to make sure you understand why this is probably the most powerful piece of software you will ever use in your life. I just see it, and it's the absolute cat's meow. It's just incredible. What's really nice, though, is that we've updated the user interface so that it's very easy. So one of the things that traders want to do is they want the end result, but they don't want to do the work. We remove the work for you. Why? Because we've tested all the strategy performance. We've built the pre-built templates. We've already done all this. But normally when we run the systems, we still like to show you the tools so that you understand what it's doing, right? How many of you guys would agree that you're probably not going to buy a car unless you understand the make, the year, the model, the speed, how much gas ratio you get? You need to at least know a little bit about it before you buy it, right? With algos, we've already done all the heavy lifting, but you still should understand how to turn it on, right? You should still understand why we do this and why it's so valuable to the strategy. Okay. Now, here's a great example. 2 images. Okay. 2 images side by side. Okay. Same strategy. Okay. Okay. And if you look at this, you can see that this goes like this, where this just goes up, right? And the goal here is to be able to find less drawdown, better profit performance, better stability. We want to be able to take the ebb and flow out of the equity curve and make it more profitable. The only way to do that is using the algo engine, because you're not going to be able to understand how to take a strategy and make it better unless you have the software that it's designed to do this. No platforms are designed to do this. Right? We built it. Okay. So how many of you guys would like to make your strategy more profitable? Type a yes. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Perfect. Now, how many of you guys would like to see the strategy templates that we've built for this? Let me just be really clear. We did it for you. The last month has been building, testing, and optimizing the best parameters on 3 primary markets: gold, NQ, RTY. Why? They're the best. Why not? Why not? Right? Don't come to me and say, oh, I want to trade orange juice. I say, why? Why do you want to trade orange juice? I don't have any data for orange juice. You want to test orange juice? Let's go test it. Let's figure it out. If you can show me that orange juice is more profitable than NASDAQ, I'll start trading orange juice. Right? Like don't be biased to something. Let the data do the work. Right? Let's talk about it. Let's go in here and talk about this market for a second. Okay. Can we just take a look at the timestamp? Let's take a look here. It's yesterday. I didn't load it. I loaded this last night. So I don't know how it performed today. I haven't run it today. I don't have the data loaded for today, but I have it from yesterday. So that was yesterday. Okay. So you can see here, that this is from yesterday all the way to June 16th. This is on the Russell. So June 16th all the way to yesterday. Okay. Is that good performance or bad performance? You tell me. Mike went quiet for a second. I'm asking you guys an honest question, right? Like, do you consider that to be good or bad? Let's go into the data. So it's taken on the Russell, okay, over the last couple months. It's taken a total of 50 trades, 48 trades. What's interesting is the long short ratio, 26 to 22. That's pretty equal, right? Like it's 26 trades to the long side, 22 trades to the short side. The delta between the two is pretty comparable, right? But the setups that we have here, it's 93%. Right? Like 93%. The profit factor is 6.4. That's insane. Don't worry about how much money. Who cares about this? Who cares about this? It's all relative to, you could trade a 1 lot, you could trade 10 lot, you could trade 50 lot. The stats will be the exact same. It'll just be at scale. You might see $1,000, 10,000, 50. Don't worry about that. Look at the data. Okay. That's important. Okay. And we're factoring in commissions as well. Okay. Now that is incredible. Okay. Let's go take a look at the Russell. That's the equity curve on the Russell. Every single trade to the moon. Up, 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 up. Okay. Every single day, take a trade. Up, 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 pushing up. Okay. That's amazing. Let's go and take a look at a different market. Let's go take a look at this one. What is this one? This one had a drawdown. I am not here to fudge your numbers. I am not here to hide that. I am not here to curve fit. I am not here to give you false hopes or false beliefs. This strategy template looks for tight scalps. And the key is that it's got a very, very, very high win rate. Okay. If you take a loss, it might be bigger than your wins, but very, very, very high win rate. So you might say, well, I don't want to trade that. Don't. If you're not somebody that likes to have quick scalps and you want consistent, like we haven't had a losing trade on this market, on this time frame, on this template. That was since yesterday. We haven't had a losing trade on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. We had 2 losses. Okay. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5 weeks. That's pretty good. You might not want tight targets, so we optimize for a bigger target. That's that simple, right? We do that. This took 63 trades. Okay, 63 trades with a profit factor of 3.9, so 4. For gold, that's amazing off the 820 open. Okay. If you're a gold trader, you want to trade gold, which very, very good strategy, you trade gold. Okay. Let's go to the big brother. Everybody wants to see the NASDAQ. Why? Because it's the NASDAQ. It's the NASDAQ. Duh. It's the NASDAQ. There's the NASDAQ. Why trade the NASDAQ? Why not? How many of you guys would like that on the NASDAQ? That's trading 10 contracts. So that's 14. It's a lot. 10 contracts. It's 10 contracts in every trade, right? So if, you know, it is what it is. You go down to 1 contract. That's fine. And this is the MNQ. So MNQ trading 10 micros, the same as 1 lot, 1 mini. Okay. 1 mini. Now, that's trading 1 mini. Okay. You could go in, that's 10 micros. Okay. Now, That's going all the way back to May. So where the other markets went back to June, we went back all the way to May in the NASDAQ. Like, holy shit. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks. And we had 4 losing days. Jesus moly. Like, I don't know about you guys, but that's insane. 8 profit factor. 8 profit factor. I don't care who you are. That is nuts. Nuts. So we build a lot of systems. Everybody says, Sean, which strategy should we get? Which system? If you don't do the one and done, you are done. Why? Because it is going to give your life back. You don't need more than this. This is a profitable McDonald's franchise ready to plug and play in your neighborhood, aka in your office. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. You don't need to worry about EMAs or if the market's going to do this or if the market's going to do that or what happened with the Trump tweets, or it's just market open. Whatever happens in the day, who cares? Hey, Ed just killed it. Ed just put the icing on the cake. How many of you guys heard me talk about this? What is Tim? Not Timmy Tom, Tom Timmy. What is Tim? What is Tim, guys? Dan says time in the market. George says Tiny Tim. Time in the market. Okay. Time in the market on this is very, very, very limited. That's the whole point. That's called quant alpha. No, you don't pick any market and turn it on, James. So the first thing you do is you pick a market. So you got to determine the market. 2, you need to figure out what is the market open. When is the market open? 3, you need to figure out what time frame. Is it going to be a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute? 4 is we're going to figure the entry offset. Okay. 5, we're going to figure out the stop. 6, we're going to figure out the target. All that's done with the algo. You don't have to do anything. So what we do is we run the test. We test it on a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 60 minute. It tells us, oh, the 1 minute's the most profitable. Trade on the 1 minute. Oh, the 1 minute's on the 5 minute. Okay, great. I'm going to do that. So the cool thing here is that you don't have to do all that. The software does that. It's just, we've already done all that. That's why these templates were built. So all of that's already been done. Jeff and me and the team, we've been doing that for weeks so that we can just give you this template. You don't got to do anything. We've already done it. So you can have these 3 templates. You can just turn them on. Like literally tomorrow morning, turn them on. They're already built. You don't have to do any of that. Now I'm going to tomorrow morning show you how to do that. So if you want to go and test a different time frame, or if you want to test a different market, or if you want to, right? That's it. Tom, I don't know what you're asking, but the answer is yes. We've already built it. So you can take these templates, turn them on for the NASDAQ, the Russell, and gold. Maybe you only want to trade the NASDAQ. Because there's no indicators here. There's no EMA settings. There's no this, there's no that. Like these templates are built for that. We didn't test the S&P, Joe. NASDAQ tends to pop quicker. Russell pops quick. Gold pops quick. Crude's a pain in the ass, but can be great if you're on the right time frame, right? Right. It's just, you got to know, like for me, I would rather run these 2 markets. Personally, I would just trade gold and the NASDAQ myself, right? I would, or, you know, you might want to trade, you know, if you want to trade it on crude, you test it on different time frame, et cetera. Let's go and take a look at the NASDAQ for a second and take a look at the workspace. So it's on a 1 minute chart. Let's go here. Let's go back here and find the breakout. See, is JBC in here? I don't know if JBC in here or Jim or somebody. Jeff C. Jeff
Yes,
Zimmerman's
sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
So every time I go into the workspaces, my computer just hums like a bat out of hell. Like it's so something's going on when we go to the workspace tab. Can you let them know?
Okay.
So take a look at here. This is a scalp. We're scalping. Scalp trade. Okay. Scalp trades. And I think the displacement on that's 1 bar after it. Jeff, I don't know. You see that? Breakout, push, done. Let's go back to the other one. Let's find another one. Every day, one trade, little nugget, golden nuggets. Now you can trade other stuff if you want, but this is an automated system. You just turn on, it's a money-making machine, right? I think the signals are showing on the next bar, Jeff. Maybe that's because I don't have the new build. That's right, I don't have the new build, but there's the signal here.
Well, that's a 3-minute fractal that starts 1 minute before the open.
Sure.
Just that's what tested well.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the racing stripe. The racing stripe's just placed on the other bar. Signals happening on.
Got it.
Yeah. So there's the entry, breaks down, target, stop. So see where the stop is on the NASDAQ? It's not the opposing side. It's not the opposing side. And so Jeff is telling us here, and so this is some hybrid stuff. This is some ninja voodoo stuff that Jeff pulls here in the testing, is that we're actually starting this 1 minute before the market open, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff.
Right.
So if you notice the time of this is starting at 9:29, 9:30, 9:31, boom. It's a 3-minute breakout, right? Jeff, you know your template.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes. Yeah.
So we're testing a 3-minute opening range on the NASDAQ, but we're displacing it 1 minute before the open. So what's cool about this is that that's where we got the best performance, was testing it with the 1 minute right before the open, and then boom, breaks down, right? So time buffers can be adjusted like price offset. Absolutely. Yeah, you can change time and price offset. Yeah. And the entry here, this was right on the open. Boom, take it out, right? Done. Nice scalp. Now, you're not going to argue with that. You say, well, what about the whole move? What about it? Stats are, don't break what's not broken. Don't change it, right? Statistically, that is an epic result of a strategy. An 8+ profit factor is, I just don't know, guys. Like I build systems for a living. It's just very, very rare you get an 8+ profit factors. Like it is what it is, right? You guys can make your own assessment. I know for me that anything above 5 is just holy shit, right? How many of you guys would agree? Yes or no? You would love to just take these templates and turn them on. Well, you're going to have to let me teach you how to do that tomorrow morning. That's the goal. Okay. Now we're going to give away a license, because everybody wins where we are. We like to give freely. Lady Luck, Jim, do we have a poll for this, or is there something we're doing here for that? Not sure. There it is.
Yep,
Pete's got it.
for sure.
Pete's got it. Thanks, Pete. So we've got, if everybody can do me a favor and click on that SurveyMonkey link and fill out the poll so we know at the end of the event who wins the algo, right? We always like to give away free software. Now, we got a lot of questions coming in here about what if I own the manual strategies? What if I bought the indicator? Don't worry, guys. We got you covered. Everybody wins. We're all for that, okay? But let's just make sure everybody sees the link. Type it in the chat box. Perfect. So you are excited as we are. This is going to be fun. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We've been working around the clock for months on this one. This has been exciting. And looking forward to seeing you guys in the AMA tomorrow, and then also next week running the algo, right? I want you guys to post that stuff in the community, ask questions if you need help, anything like that. We got you covered. Fantastic. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. For all you one and done traders, over and out.